We respectfully request the Sangha of great virtues, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính Đại Đức Tặng Thịnh, vì thứ Pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu Pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Saranto Suchedo Ye Elahadi Samyao Sanputo Ye. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tu Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đề Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Thoa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual doctrines. 无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Jingliang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位上智师、阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Thượng Tiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 11th of May 2025. We're here at Way Mountain to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. This is about the who's in the world. They are heavenly kings, celestial kings, who are rulers of the heavens, of the world. So these are very, very big shots, a lot bigger than the ordinary people are aware of, or can hear of. And this section here talks about the Gandharva kings. Gandharva kings are musical spirits. Their jobs are to entertain the Christian gods, the heavenly king of the second desire heaven in our realm here, and so these Gandharva kings are actually Mahasattvas. They're very, very advanced beings with tremendous wisdom, and yet they hide the great wisdom by doing small things like becoming a ruler of the heavens. Okay, but that's what people are supposed to do. When you have wisdom, you're supposed to use it to help others. Okay, and so this is what happens to the Mahasattvas and the Buddhas. They spread all over the universe. and they take on different jobs, different projects to help all of us. And yet, the average person is not even aware of it. Okay, and that's the nature of Buddhist help. We receive so much help, and yet we don't even know that we're being helped. So that's why one of the important virtues when you are a Buddhist, if you're a good person, one of the most important virtues is gratitude. Okay, the more wisdom you have, the more grateful you become. Because the more you understand, the more you realize that we get so much help, we get so much support, that we can ever be able to repay that help, that support. And the only way for us to repay it is what? Is what? Two.
Dạ, con nghĩ là mình giúp đỡ lại người khác.
Help others.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? How can you possibly repay their kindness? Yes, three.
Yeah, today I think we cultivate ourselves.
Cultivate yourself.
To be a good person first.
Very good. Well, you have to start somewhere. Absolutely. JMT, how do you repay the Buddha's and the Bodhisattva's kindness? We know that is no way for us to measure it. They are doing so much, have been doing so much for us. Even way before we were born and way after we're dead. Okay? So how do we repay that kindness? How can we possibly repay it? Because decent people would say, for what I took, I want to pay it back. Yes? Otherwise, you simply are a leech. You just take and take and take. Yes, three.
To follow the good knowing advisor's instructions.
Follow good knowing instructions. Very good. What else? Yes, two.
Con nghĩ là mình tu tập thành Phật và thành Phật mới độ lại chúng sanh, đó là cách trả ơn chư Phật.
Very good. She says, become a Buddha, cultivate, become a Buddha, and that's the best way to repay the kindness. Very good. JMT, how do you repay the Buddha's and Bodhisattva's kindness?
제가 예전에 마스터 만나기 전에 송광사에서 저를 가르쳐 주셨던 마스터한테 배우기로는 지도해 주신 마스터의 레벨을 추월하는 게, 뛰어넘는 게 은혜를 갚는 길이라고 배웠고요. 네.
Before I met you, Master, I remember the lesson from the Master in Songgwangsa. He said, when we overcome the level of our Master,
이제 그 당시에 20년 전에 그 얘기를 들었을 때 조금 이해가 되지 않았고 좀 잔인한 일이 아닌가 생각을 했었는데, 지금 돌아보니까 계속 스승보다 레벨이 낮게 되면 계속 받기만 해야 되는 입장이더라고요. 지금의 제 상황을 봐도 그렇고, 그래서 뭐 잔인한 얘기인 것 같지만 지도해 주신 스승을 추월하는 게 정말로 은혜를 갚을 수 있고 계속 이렇게 은혜를 받는 입장이 아니라 그렇게 생각합니다.
so it might be difficult to listen to this, but going over the Master's level is way to pay back the kindness. Instead of receiving the kindness, it's a chance to pay back. the kindness to the master.
Newborn and your master? Is that possible? You really have faith in yourself, don't you?
아니 그게 아니라 지금 방금 그러니까 어떻게 은혜를 갚냐고 하셔서 계속 레벨이 낮다 보면 계속 받아야 되잖아요. 배우기도 해야 되고 보호를 받아야 되기 때문에 그냥 저는 원론적으로 그렇게 예전에 마스터한테 배웠던 걸로 대답 드리는 거고요. 네.
In the family, yeah, it's okay. In the family, you know, we owe our parents, don't we? Huh? In a way that we owe our parents. So how do we pay their kindness? Let me be more specific for you. You're born in the royal family, a son of Prince Charles. Okay, you have a lot of privileges, like we do. We have so many privileges for being the disciples of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, like these royalties. They're born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They have horses, they have chariots, they have servants, they have eunuchs, they have everything. Okay, all the amenities of life. How do they repay their kindness? It's unfortunate that royalties don't think of it as repaying their kindness. They think of it as their birthrights, that they deserve those things. It's only because they have no wisdom. Okay? But if you have wisdom, you're born to a royal family, what are you supposed to do? Yes, DTT.
I feel like I would like to grow into the person that my parents and the royal family would like to see me grow into and carry on the family
Tradition.
mission.
Very good.
I have the ability, and before I have the ability to carry on the mission, I will support them in whichever little way I can support them to accomplish their mission.
So you become a king yourself.
I try to, but before that, I will support.
And what if you're a woman? You can't be king, so what do?
I can cook for them, I can clean for them, I can garden for them, I can raise kids for them, I can donate to them, I can do whatever little thing I can do to support them, so they
Clearly, you weren't born in a royal family, that's why you speak nonsense. Royal people, they don't cook for their parents, they don't raise a kid for their parents. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, royal family, then you do what those royal family princess do, right? Like show up in the way that people would like to see you in a prince, to be in the image of the royal family.
You see, folks, when we talk to people, some people use their logic to explain themselves, but innately, if you've been there, you say, that doesn't sound right. I'm kidding. Very good. Anyone else? Huh? JMT. Oh no.
마스터 일단
Go, continue. Yeah.
마스터 제가 처음에 말씀드렸던 부분은 스승의 은혜를 갚기가 어렵다는 거를 제가 예전에 마스터로부터 배운 걸로 말씀을 드린 거고요.
Master, the way I answered the first question, I learned from you. Based on that, I'm just saying that it's difficult to pay back the kindness that I received from my master.
그리고 지금 질문하신 거에 대해서 제가 관찰한 로열 패밀리들은 부모로부터 만약에 그게 다음에 그 권력을 받았을 때 물려받은 것보다 더 모든 자산과 여러 가지 면에서 증식하는 게 부모로부터 받은 거를 이렇게 갚는 길이라고 그렇게 관찰했습니다.
So my observation about loyal family, this question, I think once they become a king, it's important for them to keep keep whatever they had it and also grow whatever they possessed. That's an important part of their job.
Okay, very logical. Okay, so let's talk about you being grateful to me. Are you? You feel grateful? Careful now.
마스터께서 또 테스트를 하시겠지만 기본적으로는 많이 감사하고 있습니다.
Master, I'm sure you will realize also, but basically I'm very grateful toward you.
Thank you, Lord.
마스터, 제가 사실은 여기 법문에 오기 전에 좀 새벽에 잠을 못 잤는데 저처럼 보잘것없는 아니 감사합니다.
Master, before I came to the temple, I couldn't sleep, but I'm really thankful for your care. I'm not an important person.
So how do you show your gratitude to me?
마스터께서 테스트를 또 하시겠지만 제 수준에서 제 찌질하고 계산적인 제 수준에서는 감사하고 있습니다.
I'm sure, Master, you will give me more tests, but in my level right now, I really feel grateful about your help.
How do you show
제가-
it? How do you show your gratitude?
일단 제가 찌질하고 되게 계산적이기 때문에 네.
First of all, I know that I'm a small and I calculate all the time.
일단은 마스터께서 주신 인스트럭션을 따르는 걸로 최선을 다해서 따르는 걸로 제가 잘 따르지는 못했지만 마스터께서 주신 인스트럭션을 따르는 거를 노력을 하면서 제 감사를 표현하고 그렇게 해봤던 것 같아요. 근데 감사를 많이 못하는 건 맞는 것 같아요.
So, Master, I know I didn't really fulfill all the instructions, but I think I should do my best and follow your instructions, and that's my way to express kindness, your kindness coming from you. I understand that I didn't show enough gratitude toward you.
그러니까 제가 마스터의 감사를 충분히 하고 있다라는 뜻은 아니고 그냥 제 수준에서 제가 되게 많이 못나고 되게 부족한 게 많은 제 수준에서 그냥 그렇게 해왔다는 거를 말씀드리는 거예요.
I'm just explaining that whatever that I show the gratitude is not enough. I understand in my level it's lacking a lot. I just want to explain to you that it's insufficient.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes, 3.
This is from our YouTube audience. It's from Ru Kang, but with a C, C-A-N-G. And they say, repay the kindness by cultivating the Buddha Dharma and to help our parents go to the Pure Land to pay their kindness.
Very good. Anyone else? You all know what to do. Okay? The main thing is that we naturally, our nature is such that when we realize that we are on the receiving end, a lot more than we can count, than we can imagine, and can be aware of, then naturally we all strive to do something about it in our own ways. There's no one fixed way to do it. Okay? But that's what makes it different. This celestial king here, he's a Gandharva. So therefore, he repays the Buddha's kindness, his teacher's kindness, by doing everything possible as Gandharva could do. Maybe he's creating music. Maybe he's serving the Christian God better. That's how you repay. You try your best in what you do. It's very, very real, very practical. It's not like, oh, I want to pay more. I know I'm not good enough. And so, of course, we're never good enough. That's the nature of gratitude. You can always be more grateful. But all we can do is keep on trying more and more and more. That's the nature of repaying kindness. Okay? Wherever we are, whoever we are, that's what we do. We contribute like them, but within our own capacity. Okay? And the one thing that when you talk about repaying kindness here, it takes actions, number one. Number two, what else does it take? In order for them to help us, all of us, what do they have to do? Make great sacrifices. You think that they really want to be celestial king at their levels? And yet they decide, I'm gonna, since I have conditions here, I go become a Kubanda king and then I help these beings. Okay, so you court with conditions. So instead of sitting there and say, Buddha, this is not fair. I can do so much more. Why don't you give me something bigger, something more important to you? No, whatever the circumstances are, you try your best and you give more and more and more, and that's how you contribute, make more sacrifices than before. That's a mindset. These Mahasattva, they make more and more sacrifices. Unlike us, we do something, we start counting. Whoa, isn't it enough, Master? Huh? Isn't it enough, Your Majesty? It's never enough. That's a mindset of these beings. They don't count. They don't measure. If there's an opportunity to make more sacrifices, because that's what it takes to help others, you have to make sacrifices. You can't say, I help others. How come I'm not rich? How come I'm not getting any recognition? When you help others, when you contribute, you're supposed to take losses. That's how you become richer. You become richer by taking losses. You don't become richer by taking. You become richer by giving. Does it make sense? And when your mind is infinite, it's I'm going to give more and more, that's how you will eventually become a Buddha. They don't count. They keep on giving and giving and giving. Okay? They ask themselves, can I do more? Can I do more? They don't say, it's not fair. How come I do so much and this person that's so high, has such a bigger position, much more recognition than I, and this is not fair. It's not about them, it's about your heart. Is that clear? Okay, this is what the spirit of these beings. We look at these specifics, but actually there's a mind behind it. Okay, 64. For measureless aeons, the Buddha cultivated expedient practices based in great kindness.
佛于往昔无量劫修习大慈方便行。
Yes, DTT.
Master, I get that it's actually easier for me to get it when I feel gratitude towards someone to make a sacrifice. When I don't feel like I own someone, it's harder for me to sacrifice for them. Like, for example, my husband.
Wait, you own your husband, therefore it's difficult for you to make sacrifices for him? Is that what I heard? Is that what you said?
I don't feel like I own him that much, so I don't feel like...
You don't feel you owe him that much.
So
that's why you don't need to make sacrifices for him?
It's harder for me to be very willingly sacrifice.
I agree. If you are a queen and you look at a eunuch and you say, I don't need to make sacrifices for you, you're supposed to make sacrifices for me.
I don't need him to sacrifice for me, but when he wanted me to sacrifice for him, I always feel like, haven't I sacrificed enough for you? I always have this. So I feel like it's very small of me. Is that lack of compassion and my small heart and calculating?
No.
For me, it's very easy to sacrifice for someone I feel I own to.
Yeah, from the little I've got to know you so far, okay, it seems to me that once you understand the situation, you're willing to commit to it. But when you say, I don't want to do it, it's because you say, no, you don't deserve it. And therefore, you have your reasons. It's the same thing. You see, it takes two to tango. Personally, I haven't spent much time with my Chinese teacher, Great Master YongHua. But with little time I got and the little things I received, teaching I received from him, and that's enough for me to say, oh my God, I owe him so much, okay? Naturally. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we each understand our own circumstances. So it's no point in forcing it. And of course, there's always people who say, you owe me, I need you to pay up, and so forth. That's natural. And in that case, you need to be flexible and negotiate instead of rejecting. Because there's some people you definitely do not want to reject, like your husband. Okay? It's just like, there's one thing, and now you brought it up, there's one thing that in Buddhism that most people don't realize because you are novices at this, is that's never mind about you. Look at this celestial king, whatever his name is. Next, let me see. His name is Universal Sound. He's a big shot. For him to be a celestial king, what do you think he needs? A very supportive family. Can you go to work when in the back of your mind you know your children are starving and that they are being not cared for, that they could be playing in the yard and hurt themselves? Huh? Of course, you can't. You worry about it. Therefore, you're distracted constantly. So let me tell you, it's not explained here in Sutra, but it's very practical. In order for you to cultivate, very practical, how can you get here to the temple to cultivate? Because you have conditions that enables you, when you come here, you're able to concentrate and not be distracted by the household. Yeah? These guys here, I'm at a very small scale, but these celestial kings here, they have a tremendous support system, a very strong family. extensive support network in order for them to do it. Okay? And so going back to the example of DTT, do not neglect the fact that if your family, your spouses in particular, say that, you don't appreciate me enough, that's a red flag. Do not ignore it. Do not fight it. Okay? And that's wrong to fight it. The first thing you do when you go home and your husband says, "Where have you been?" Okay? That's a red flag. You need to fix that problem. You cannot afford to ignore it because it will fester. It's like gangrene. It will eat away your relationships. There's no wisdom in you ignoring your support system. Okay? There's no wisdom in woman to ignore her man. So that's why I'm kidding, of course, and vice versa. So the point being that when you hear, especially at home, when you come home and there's a red flag that's complaint, you better fix it. Okay? On the flip side, these celestial kings, they have a support caste of people who are willing to make sacrifices for them so that they can make bigger sacrifices. Is that clear? So, because they spend time building up that relationship already. Okay? In other words, specifically speaking, if your husband says, why can't you do more for me? I need you to do more for me. Then you stop me and say, how can I do more for you? Okay? What can I do? Don't fight. It's about negotiation. Relationship is about negotiation of what? Expectations. Okay? To me, it sounds like there is an issue there. There's some miscommunication. There's misalignment of expectations there. She expects a different thing. She says, I've done enough for you, haven't I? And the husband says, I don't think so. You better fix it. Okay? It's not about right and wrong. It's about meeting expectations, folks. Does it help? Yes, 3.
This is from Ru Jing with the J. Ru Jing. I took refuge in March, trying to get in full lotus. I sit half lotus for an hour. I listen to your lectures, read from sutras, attend Zoom meditation class. Are there other practices or classes that I should do? Emitofuo.
Yes, get in full lotus. All right, he comforts all those in the world, universal sound awakens to and enters this path.
一切世间咸未安，此道普应能悟入。
What we teach you, what I'm sharing with you, is the instructions from my great teacher on how to build your foundation. Okay, so for example, you take chant with us, and what do we teach you? One of the first few things is to get in full lotus. You still can't? Then work at it. Then after you get it, then you ask for more instructions. All right? 66. For measureless aeons, the Buddha, okay, cultivation is a long-term process. Okay, that it takes time to in Vietnamese, and there's one thing that I still remember. The first 2 things I learned in my culture is that they like to teach us. Like teacher says, when you make a needle, the Vietnamese take a piece of steel this big and they file it. Okay? And they keep on filing it. So he says, it takes a while for you to make a needle. What's a Vietnamese saying, huh? You remember? Yeah, so he says, if you spend the time to file the steel, one day you get a needle. Okay? That's Buddhist wisdom right there. It takes time. Okay? Right there is how we should approach cultivation. You set a goal. Okay? You say, for example, my teacher, I don't know why so many of you struggle. My teacher never taught me much, was never there to urge me or encourage me. He just said, you meditate, full lotus. I couldn't sit in full lotus, so I worked at it for months. Okay? Many months later, I was able to get into full lotus for an hour without any pain. I practice every day. Okay? And thinking back, looking back, it's the kind of spirit that we have from my culture, because, every time I talk to the elders, the Vietnamese elder, they always, when I complain and whine about why is it taking so long, why you make me do these things, why is it so cumbersome, he said, you have to put in the effort to file the steel before you get a needle, a tiny needle like this. It takes a while. Okay, so this is why the Buddhist wisdom is incredibly profound. That's our heritage. Okay, and you should be proud of it and share with the next generations. That's giving them blessings, giving them the proper perspectives. Okay, and so for the Buddha himself, he spent measureless aeons to practice one instruction. Okay? And that's part of conditioning your mind. Okay? And in particular, he cultivating expedient practices based on great kindness. This celestial, this is Buddha here. Okay, here's the keyword. He says his driving force is great kindness. Great kindness is to bring joy to others. It's how shallow on the surface it looks like. Okay? I want to bring joy to your life. What does it take to bring joy to their life? Huh? How about, hi honey, I'm back, I'm home. Hi honey, I just pick up some wildflowers for you. Okay? We do little things to bring joy to the people we care. Buddha, in contrast, he brings joy to everyone, as many as possible. Okay? And how does he do it? He does it by using expedience. Okay? And expedience, let me explain to you to make sure there's no possible misunderstanding. Expedience is a tool for people who have true wisdom. If you don't have wisdom yet, it's called what? Trickery. That's a distinction. If you haven't developed wisdom yet, and you think you're using expedience, you simply are scamming others and tricking others. That's all you do. In Buddhism, we're very, very clear about this with our people. At some point in time, when these people become 1G, 2G, and so forth, and some point in time, you say, okay, now you're ready to learn about expedience. All right? And another thing that this celestial king observed is that he saw that the Buddha, Xian is all, An is a Hui An, right? And so he comforts them and makes them feel safe and peaceful. Everyone. Yes, 6.
Hello. Thầy nói là nếu mình thiền thì mình sẽ đem cái hạnh phúc bình an tới cho người khác. Thì con muốn biết là đó là đối với những người còn sống. Còn nếu như những người đã ra đi, ví dụ mình có thể mình ngồi thiền, mình hộ niệm, mình ngồi thiền, thì có giúp ích gì được cho họ không thầy? A Di Đà Phật.
Hello, Master. You say that if we meditate, we can bring happiness and peace to other people. That is to talk about the alive. What about the death one? Can we meditate the deceased? Can we meditate and recite the Buddha names, assist in recitation? Does it bring benefit and help these people? Emitofuo.
How long have they been dead? I mean, as my disciples call it, how long have they been gone to the Pure Land?
Dạ, con chỉ muốn nói là những người thí dụ mới ra đi để mà thí dụ như thay vì hộ niệm bằng tịnh độ, niệm A Di Đà, thì bây giờ nếu mà họ ngồi họ thiền để mà giống như là hộ niệm như thế thì nó có tốt gì cho cái người mới ra đi không thầy?
Hello, Master. I just wanted to talk about the deceased just passed away. Instead of reciting the Buddha name, assist in recitation like the Pure Land. Can we meditate? Is it just like assisting in recitation? Do we do any good for the people who just passed away? Emitofuo.
Why do you want to help them? You guys have to be careful. You want to help everyone. It sounds like a recipe for disasters and chaos.
Con chỉ thắc mắc là tò mò một chút xíu, là bởi vì giống như ngày xưa khi mà má con ra đi, lúc đó thì con chỉ biết thiền thôi chứ con chưa có biết pháp tịnh độ. Thì con không biết làm cách nào, con chỉ ngồi con nhắm mắt con thiền. Thì con không biết là như vậy có giúp ích gì được cho bà già hay không. Thì con chỉ thắc mắc như vậy thôi. Còn cái vấn đề bên tịnh độ thì thầy nói là không bảo đảm là mình niệm Phật mình được về Tây Phương. Thì trong trường hợp đó nếu mà mình thành tâm thì có thể đến một cái cảnh giới nào tốt đẹp hơn. Yeah. Cảm ơn thầy.
I'm just curious is because back in the day, when my mother passed away, I didn't know about Pure Land, so I just meditate. So that's why I want to ask to see whether it can be able to do any help to her. And also, Master say even with Pure Land, when you recite the Buddha name, doesn't guarantee that you will be able to rebirth to the Pure Land. So if we are sincerely recite the Buddha name, do we get born to a good state, good place?
Okay. As a general rule of thumb, when you help, you have to pay. So before you decide to help, you have to ask yourself, can I afford to pay for this? I'm giving you general rules of thumbs. That's why I shared it when people say, I want to help. I said, are you prepared to pay? There's no help that's free. It's not possible. You want to help someone, there's a price to pay. And that's what we talked earlier about, sacrifices. When we help, we are making sacrifices. It takes making sacrifices in order to help. You have to suffer losses. You don't help and expect gains from it. Nature of the help is that when you help someone, you help someone comes to you and say, I'm hungry. Okay? You want to help that person, you take out some money and give it to them, okay, here, buy yourself some food. It's a loss right there immediately in order to help. You want to help your mother, you want to help someone, you want to decide for her, for him. Are you prepared to pay the price? Can you afford it? And this is, I know it's kind of brutal for most of you because it's like, it sounds like I'm trying to talk you out of it. I'm only merely reminding you there's a price that we all have to pay in order to help others. Yes, it's a lot easier for me to say, like everyone else, oh, help, 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 help. It's just the right thing to do. But, I am the one who end up having to fix those problems. Okay? When you help someone, okay, your body pays for it. Can you afford it? Number one. Number two, how much help do you think you can provide yourself? Because helping someone, especially in many cases, is you need to carry them. In Buddhism, we call it a ferry, we call it a boat. We need to put them on the boat and ferry them to safety, to cross the sea of suffering. The Buddhist is very, very graphic. It's the truth right there. You want to help someone, you put them on the boat, and then you bring them across the ocean of suffering. And that should immediately tell you it's not that easy. And that's why you, trainees, you're learning how to develop skills to be able to do that. This is why we have these special programs for you. Okay? That's why we look at you and say, oh, this is where you are. This is only so much you can help. And the other person a bit higher, therefore, he can be assigned to different more useful task and so forth. But it's all in view of how we can help you develop skills so that you can become more useful. You can contribute more and have more meaning out of your life. Yes, DTT.
Master, in the worldly world, it's much easier for me to evaluate what's the price that I'm going to pay by helping, which I recognize that sometimes I realize I cannot afford to pay, and I do not offer significant help. But in the spiritual realm, I actually don't really know how to evaluate the consequence of my help. So sometimes I just blindly try to help by getting plaques for them. Am I getting you into trouble? And I actually don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just, because I cannot evaluate the consequence, so I just try to help.
We all try our best. It's no guarantee. I mean, what is the matter with you Chinese people? You want, like everything neatly tied up in with a ribbon and say, this is the way it's neat and tidy and perfect. No, all we have out of life, my friends, is we try our best. That's all we have. And we want to do more and more and more. This is not a contract. Like when you sign a contract with a client, they expect this and you deliver, you're done. No, here it is about trying your best and do more and more. That's the mindset we're helping you develop. And we remind you and give you assignments, give you projects to help you develop that kind of mindset. It's different, okay? That's why after you understand this, it's fairly easy for you to address the problem with your husband or your friend, whatever, because the expectations are always finite. Am I making sense? Okay, it doesn't matter. So you see, there's a lot of aspects to it, and it's a no clear-cut answer. All you can have is we want to do more and more, okay? And then we find out. We find out that, yeah, I tried this, it's not enough. For example, some people come to me and said, I need help. I say, okay, help. And then a month later they come back and say, it's still not enough. I said, well, that's all I have. We'll find something else. We'll ask for more help from someone else. Okay, and so on and so on. That's all we have. That's all they deserve. Okay? All right, any other questions? Okay, so to me it's interesting that from his perspective of this celestial king here, he sees part of the thing he admires that he can understand from his teacher, the Buddha, because basically at this level, only Buddhas can teach him, no one else. That's why they all look at it that's why in the verses, okay, right now you come to the temple and say, Master will teach me. And when I hope you get a level you say you write these verses like them. Say, for measured eons, the Buddha, meaning he focuses on the Buddha. Okay? His role model is the Buddha, meaning he's directly learning from the Buddha himself. Got that? That's the difference between him and us. So he observed Buddha, he cultivated expedient practices using kindness. That's what he sees. That's what he understands. Okay? And what is about this kindness thing here? He sees that there's great need for living beings. They need comfort. Okay, and it's interesting because it's very subtle. Comfort, like when we talk about comfort, we talk about two people. I feel comfortable with her. I don't feel comfortable with him. Okay, we think it's a casual thing, but at his level, he sees it's so critical. Okay, that it defines us. Okay, and so he sees this is how he connects with people, by bringing comfort to them. Isn't it interesting? Well, anyway, I don't know. It's interesting to me that he sees comfort as one of the key ingredients in helping others. Try that at work. Huh? Because when you think about it, try at home. You think about it. When you go home and you fight, okay? There's always confrontation, there's always friction here. Okay? But when they're comfortable with you, okay? It's no more this, but it's the hands are down. You get closer. You get to see the real person, not someone who's like this, hiding behind the fist. Does it make sense? That's how you can help people, folks. They have to be comfortable with you. They're not in a fighting. They're not fighting you. Your child is not fighting you, because the moment he looks at you and says, "Mom doesn't like me," you're dead. Forget it. He's not going to listen to you. He's not going to trust you. Same thing. Your wife look at you and say, I can't trust him. You have a big mountain to climb now. So amazingly, this is a key. He's learning. He says, for me to help all these living beings, what's the first thing I need to do? Make them feel not just comforting about the worries and so forth. I'm going a lot deeper for you. They need to be comfortable with me. And that's how I gauge the salespeople I hired. Can you make me feel comfortable, by the way? Huh? When I interview people for a sales position, okay, I throw tests at them to see if they can make me feel more comfortable. Same thing. That DTT woman, go home. If your husband says, you don't appreciate me at all, there's confrontation. If you really want him on your side, you have to make him feel comfortable with you. Instead of using your intellect, your reasoning, your logic, that's the wrong way to get there. Isn't that interesting? You keep on fighting and fighting, okay? Sell, okay? They write you a check, but grudgingly, you say, you got me this time, but next time, the price will be higher, you hear? Questions? You see the subtlety of these beings at this level? It is so deep down there that we don't even realize how important it is. It's so fundamental to relationships. Next. Okay, next one. All rejoice in seeing the Buddha's immaculate body. He inspires in the inhabitants of this world unending delight.
佛身清净，习乐见，皆乐见，能生世间无尽乐。
Causes and effects leading to liberation are gradually achieved. Splendid eyes skillfully expounds upon this.
解脱因果次第成，美目于斯善开示。
Okay, very good. 72. Buddha's immaculate body. Immaculate here comes from Jing Jing. Okay, he said the Buddha's body is pure. Not immaculate, it's pure. Okay? Yes, JC.
네, 마스터 유튜브 보다가 굉장히 잔인한 사실을 알게 되었는데요. 그게 보다가 궁금한 게 생겼습니다. 제가 세라님 톡으로 내용 보내드렸고요. 네. 그 예전 페르시아 시대 때 일어난 사건인데요. 페르시아 때 어떤 재판관이 뇌물을 받고 부정한 재판을 저질렀는데 그 정의를 돈에 팔았다는 사실을 아는 왕이 그 재판관을 산채로 가죽을 벗기고 사형을 시킨 형벌을 내렸습니다. 그래서 굉장히 잔인하다고 생각을 했는데 예전에 마스터께서 사람이 죽고 장기기증을 할 때 그 장기기증 수술의 고통을 그대로 느끼기 때문에 굉장히 아프고 안 좋은 곳으로 떨어진다고 하셨었는데 그 동물들도 혹시 도축을 당하여 살갗이 이렇게 벗겨지고 살과 뼈가 잘리는데 그 고통을 그대로 느끼는지 궁금했습니다.
Master, I was watching YouTube video and came across a very cruel historical fact. During the ancient Persian era, there was a judge who accepted bribes and delivered corrupted rulings. Upon learning this, the king was really mad that justice has been sold and ordered the judge to be flayed alive and then executed. The king then had a chair made from the judge's skin and made other judges sit in as a punishment, as a warning. What I'm curious about this is that once a person who donated organs after death still feels the pain of the surgery. So does that mean being flayed alive is being flayed after death feel the same in terms of the pain? In that case, do animals that are slaughtered after death also feel the pain as their bones and fleshes are cut apart?
I can't believe she asked that question. Never met anyone who asked this kind of question before. I don't know how to answer her. I'm still shocked from the question. Flayed alive. Yes, go ahead.
Emitofuo Master, I have a question. I think this happened.
I need a ChatGPT subscription, you know. This is a tough question. Go ahead.
All right. So this maybe happened about 2 weeks ago during Venerable XS Great Compassion Mantra class. Halfway into the class, I was suffering a lot, feeling kind of all kinds of discomfort.
Whose class is it? XS?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then
I want to make sure that
Venerable Ascension.
Yeah. To see who the culprit is. Continue.
The Great Venerable Ascension. And then at that point, suddenly I was really afraid of light, discomfort with the light in the room. So I started covering my eyes. And I was doing that for a while. So my question was, and then I kind of like tried not to cover my eyes because I thought maybe there was a ghost in me that coming out and didn't like the light. So I don't know what's going on, Master. Should I just like keep covering my eyes and run away from the light and everything? Or just, try to keep the lights on my eyes? Thank you.
Excuse me? Peter, what did you get from the question? Yes, 9. This I need to defer to the English expert.
Thank you, Master. From the second question, Apple is asking if she's possessed and if she should go with it or do something about it. I have a follow-up to the first question. I'm curious, was the chair that was made from the skin of the judge who was flayed alive, was it comfortable? Like, was it a cushy chair? Or was it like a hard chair? Because I think that would, to me, that would inform if the judge felt it or not. I would prefer a cushy chair, but I just didn't know if that detail was included in the history that you read. Thanks.
You should go ahead and answer him. This is outside of my bounds.
네, 벗긴 살갗으로 다른 재판관이
You started it. I didn't. It's not my fault.
똑같은 그 죄를 짓지 않도록 상기시키기 위해서 그 살갗으로 의자를 만들었었고, 그 왕은 그 아들을, 특히 그 재판관이 된 아들을 그 의자에 앉게 해서 재판을 하게 했다고 합니다. 아버지의 살갗으로 만든 의자에 아들도 커서 재판관이 됐는데 그 자리에 앉아서 재판을 하도록 했다고 합니다. 네. 네, 편하지 않았을 것 같은데요.
So she provided additional gruesome fact, or whatever story. He says, the father was the judge who flayed, and the son grew up, became a judge. So the king made the son to sit on that chair so he could learn the lesson. And then she said, I don't think the son was comfortable sitting on that chair.
Thank you. Such juicy details. Haven't you have enough for today? Take a break, okay? It's okay. I don't know how to answer the first question. The concept here, because I don't have such, I never went into such great details. What happens to you when you, after you're dead, and then someone cuts you up and pluck out your eyes and your heart and your liver and so forth. So I really don't know. The scriptures don't really elaborate on that, and I have no personal experience yet, so I don't know. To tell you the truth, but the concept behind it is that here's what happens to you. Here's what happens to those of you who have this, who aspire to give away your organs. Okay. Let's say that your girlfriend tells you, I'm giving away my body after I'm dead because it might help save someone else's life. It's a great ideal, okay? So you do the same thing, okay? And so little did you know that you have an accident the following day and you're dead, okay? And they put you in send you your corpse to the hospital and driver's license says organ donors. So the doctors start cutting you up, okay? And here you go, you dead, okay? Okay. You dead already, okay? But there's someone here who's playing with your corpse. Even though you're dead, you still attach to your corpse, okay? There's still a time interval before you are able to distance yourself, detach yourself from your corpse. But until that happens, okay, when someone comes in and cuts you up, okay, with that saw, and blood all over, okay, and you there looking, how could you do that to me? And it hurts like hell, Okay? You are very afflicted. Not only is it painful to you physically, okay, because you still are attached to it, but the worst part is the mental part. You're so aggravated because this person is mutilating you. No one likes it. You never realize that you actually have to witness it yourself. So it's very difficult to recover from it. Okay? And because of that, the pain and the aggravation, you will fall. Will fall most likely to the hells. And that's all I know in theory. Okay? Although, in the spirit of science, I encourage you to donate your organs and then tell us later. Describe your own experiences. Like Rushu, you're curious about it, you should find out for yourself. Did we answer all the questions? There's another second question somewhere, but I'm not sure I want to touch it either. Yes, too.
So, Master, the question was, should I try to, when that happens, should I try to just cover my eyes? And then I think even until after that, I do have a little bit of trauma. Every time I see light, I was thinking, am I afraid of it or not? It clings on me a little bit also.
You know, as I listen to you,
Thank you.
I'm inspired to come up with, with a different way to help living beings. I will have a different division that handles Catholic questions. I would categorize yours to be Catholic questions. When you draw on your Catholic, you become Catholic. Yes, JC.
입수 허인숙님 질문입니다. 49제를 제가 올리면 망자의 업을 제가 대신 받는 건가요?
Master, if you request for 49 days, am I getting the karma of the deceased person?
I'm having a headache for some reason. It's a great thing because when I first came, I was so sleepy. Now I'm wide awake. All the gore. Yeah. Okay, quick question because I like her. No, you won't, I promise. Praise the Lord. No, part of what we do is when you help others, you trying to help a lot more you can handle, and if we don't shield you from it, then you won't dare do it again. All right, don't worry, you're fine, you'll be fine, I hope. Okay, can we talk a little bit here? Okay, no more questions for the rest of the session. Okay. The Buddha's pure body, and here on slide 72, Master YongHua describes what it takes to have a pure body. It's pure because it's free from greed, anger, and stupidity. Okay, when you're free from greed, anger, stupidity, the equivalent also says that it enables you, it makes you very easy for you to develop precepts, samadhi, and wisdom. They are actually hand in hand. Okay, the less you are greedy, the less you are angry, the less you are deluded, then your level of precept, samadhi, wisdom is is at the corresponding level. Okay, so that's what happens in cultivation. You're here, and you want to go next level. Either you do like this, hardcore, like you go to Chan Chi and Fo Chi, and you apply yourself vigorously. You bring up your precept, samadhi, and wisdom. And because of that, your level of greed, anger, delusion naturally is like this. Similarly, it's less. Here means less, not more. Okay, Catholic, get it? Or conversely speaking, if you reduce your greed, anger, stupidity, therefore your level is higher, therefore it's very easy for you to bring up this as well. So it's a dual ladder. That's what cultivation is about, folks. You don't necessarily always need to sit and cross your legs and grind it out like the Chinese are taught to do. They don't realize when they do this, they actually are practicing this as well. Precepts, they're actually practicing reducing their greed, anger, and their delusions. Okay? So when they grind it out in the Chan Chi, okay, they increase this, but actually at the same time, they're also doing this. Vice versa. At the temple, when we give you assignments, projects to work, like in the kitchen, sweeping the floor, the courtyard, actually what you're doing is working on your greed, anger, and delusion. Because of that, when comes time for you to cross your legs, you move up very quickly. Got that? So that's why the training is not just for you, but all of you is the same thing. When you come to the temple, okay, the environment is ideal for you to practice both ladders. More so than at home. Okay, dokie? All right. And one thing I want to share with you is the next slide here. I've met many, many people so far in my path, cultivation path. And so I get a chance to see, okay, different types of bodies. And I'm so grateful to be able to encounter my teacher, and his body is the purest of all the people I've met. Believe me, it makes a difference. People can tell. When you cultivate, when you reach a certain point, you'll be able to see, this person is not pure, that person is pure, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. And that's why the Koreans, I go to Korea a lot because I'm learning every single trip I go there, I learn something new. It's fascinating to me, okay? I love to learn. I love to acquire more knowledge, and I find it fascinating. And the Koreans, they're instinctively, okay, they cannot tell in terms of purity, but they can gauge by samadhi power. So when you have samadhi power, okay, then they come near you and they lap it up. You know, they feel more peaceful, they feel stronger, more energized, and so forth. But what they don't realize is that they are seeking is actually also purity. Now the Koreans know. Okay? So that's why the Koreans are very smart. They draw near people because they're seeking that aura, that energy aura. When they come near you, they lap it up and say, oh, I feel peaceful, I feel energized. And so, but that's rather coarse. The other part is that you don't need to go close. You take a look at one person and say, pure. not pure. Okay? And the point here is that the Buddha, because of his purity, he brings joy to people simply by them merely looking at him. What a gift. I know most of you, what matters to you? Why some people have such a following, bigger following on social media than others? Because they have more plastic. Never mind. The thing is, ordinary people, they need to use things to make themselves more attractive. But if you cultivate, this is what draws people: your purity, your kindness, your compassion. Understand, huh, DTT girl? It's not logic. It's not fairness. It's about kindness and compassion. It's about lack of greed, anger, and stupidity. Okay? And you like a magnet. Okay? So that's why I made a comment yesterday when I was preparing for the lecture. We're like looking at beautiful people. What about pure bodies? Okay? I will tell you, I submit to you that the pure bodies will be even more attractive than beautiful people. Think about it. Okay? Cause and effects leading to liberation are gradually achieved. Okay? And so these people, they rejoice at looking at the Buddha's body and what it does. In addition to enjoying them, they also are motivated to practice. How did they practice? They planted the causes for them to attain liberation. Okay, so the Buddha, through his purity, inspires others to follow his path, to walk his path, and that's what this particular splendid eyes understands and teaches his followers. Questions and comments? If not, we stop here today. Thank you all for your participation. It's very hot, so be careful. Don't exert yourself. Yesterday I have a couple of my boys who almost died. Okay, because they work hard under the heat. You should know better. Okay, be careful. See you next time. Thank you.